Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Are you the Keymaster?
You can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk.
Check it out.
As if.
Yo, hey guys, this is Christie and it's lunch hour, and I've got Chad on here, which is a longtime friend, hater of Demon Bitch.
Yes.
He's got a new Kickstarter and stuff. So let me go ahead and pop that on there. It's The Legend of Sparkle Dog. Now,
Yes.
let me go ahead and put that in there while I go. So tell us about The Legend of Sparkle Dog.
Oh, I don't know. I wrote it when I was drunk. No, it's a Legend of Sparkle Dog. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. So Legend of Sparkle Dog follows the story of our gender-fluid protagonist, Quinn, where he ends up buying a fursuit from a very questionable website. And you can actually buy people's fursonas and fursuits. It's a real thing. I'm in the wrong business. So they end up buying the suit, and he finds out that, well, the suit is sentient. And it is actually a god being that was once a peaceful entity that was protectors of the human race. Or so it says. So Quinn has to go on a magical journey with Sparkle Dog to collect 4 crystal paw pads from guardian furries. And that's just what I say it is. It's actually a reality-shifting, bloody horror adventure is what it really is. Because it's cute on the surface, but underneath it, it's actually more like a Five Nights at Freddy's meets like Playtime Poppy or The Mask type deal. So
Yeah. By the way, when that happened, I had like a triple X like porn bot come in. It's like, find your love in you city. I can really take that like actually like fucking seriously or some shit. So yeah, so Chad, like I think you work with another guy who is actually a furry. I don't know if you are, but I remember him.
I'm not. No.
Robin, like I think Robin.
Kit.
Robin. Kit. Thank you.
Kit,
Sorry,
yes.
I'm very tired, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Kit. I know is actually a furry.
He is a furry.
He is a furry. Oh look, girls 18 online. That's funny.
Oh heck yeah! Quick, everybody, stop the stream. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go and fucking do a porn bot and all that. So, yeah, so I'm going to go, but yeah, so let me take a look. Actually, like pop this fucker up and do that. Sorry, I'm also like in a little bit of pain too, guys, because well, it wasn't anything terrible. I just fell down the stairs like a dumbass. It was not fun. So let me go ahead and try to share this other screen. Let me actually show this to you guys. Stop. Let me go ahead and present this fucking screen. Ooh, at least I want to go and at least present it so it's.
You can see all of its disgustingness.
So yeah, right. So it's like 1,500. You got 13 days to go, guys. So I would say if you can, let's go ahead and play this if you can hear it. Can you hear it fine?
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Right? There you go.
Yeah, we're a little bit we're about halfway there. So, and that's really cool, and this is my very first Kickstarter. And it's been whew, man, I don't know how you guys can do it. Kickstarters are a huge pain in the butt. A lot of fun, but also a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah. So it's like, so it's just like Kickstarter. It's like basically you have to be P.T. Barnum for like X amount of days. What, you had it on for 30 days, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's like, don't say OO. What is OO? So people can be understanding of that. I kind of have an idea what that is, but
Sure.
explain that.
So it's pronounced uwu.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, and it's essentially what the furries say to be cute. It's like ooh woo. And we decided to say don't say ooh woo because it sounded more dangerous in the title, and it's kind of funny to not say ooh woo. So, and unfortunately, because I've been running this campaign, I've been saying it a lot, so it's almost came into my vocabulary, and I want to jump off of a bridge.
Right. Right. Well, I think the anime kind of does that too. Like the anime group does that as well.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, they do the uwu, but I've seen it with a U, the UWU, like the.
Yep.
It's like that closed eye thing.
Yep, that's another way to spell it too. So yeah, you can spell it either way. I know they'll do like the anime will do like desu or just something like that at the end of sentences. In this case, it's uwu. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like looking at this. Joe and Quinn on a multi-genre reality shifting horror adventures. They try to collect the 4 crystal paw pads to bring peace back in the world, or are they? So that makes sense. You have animals, furries, whatever. And let's see here. And it's like interesting how the evolution of furry, at least the public perception of furry, has evolved. Like before, it was like, at first it was like, oh, they're weird. But then again, unfortunately, with any new genre or any new thing or any underground genre that comes out, you get the weirdos from the genre first because they generate the more attention.
Yes.
And then, like, there was a guy that came out with a website with God's Hates Furries, but he was talking about the very degenerate aspects of a fandom. I would say it would be a fandom, right?
Yes, it's a fandom, and they get it. It is unfortunate because I've been to furry cons and everything, and the more negative side does get a lot more attraction. But of course, we're in a world where hate sells, so it's like
I hate this thing. Well, I mean, look at Demon Bitch. It's like I hate certain behavior from people, and I have to make fun of it.
Right.
But it's satirization.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of what this is. Is that this is kind of a parody. I kind of like to say it because I have been told by a couple of furries that this is an insensitive topic because it seems like it's making fun of furries, but all it's really doing is that it's just parroting and kind of poking fun at the cliches of it. So it's it's Quinn notices in this that there's an octopus with huge boobs, and they always draw stuff with huge boobs.
Or big dicks. Or big dicks.
Yeah, or big dicks. And a bunch of semen and everything. And then you can buy fursonas offline, and they all speak in very cringy manners. They almost act like a cult in some areas. So there's just a lot of parroting of this, of the furry community, and it's not supposed to be insulting at all.
No, I mean, the thing is that what a lot of people have mistaken with a lot of humor ideas is that it's meant to, if it's not funny if it's insulting, and I find the absolute opposite. I don't know what it is. I think people tend to be really silly when they talk about stuff like that because it's like humor is not meant to be overtly insulting. There's a golden rule that actually somebody once said that was really good, is like, if a person is not a participant in the sarcasm, then it's mean.
Right.
And the thing is that I'm being sarcastic about like mean people in my comic Demon Bitch.
Right.
And with this, like, you're just being sarcastic about the silly parts of furrydom that you have to go and be silly about. You have to agree it is silly, like in every genre and situation. Now, I have friends that are furries. I myself am not a furry. I'm not into the anthro stuff or anything like that. But it's just interesting watching these people, like, and I don't mean these people like in an insulting way, but people like this that have kind of evolved past it. Now it's like, yeah, I'm a furry, whatever. Because now they've gotten past the sick shit. And it's like, oh, wait, that's not a majority of furries at all. So Yeah, but the Legend of Sparkle Dog, I find it very interesting. They were held against their will.
Yes.
And it's funny because you actually have this famous feud with Demon Bitch. Like I notice, like every time she tweets, you always have to insult her.
I do.
I mean, that's okay. She's perfectly insultable because
Mhm.
she's supposed to be a hateful character in general.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I think you've even like supported some of her books as well. You have done that, so
Oh
it's
yeah,
like I bet they stink up your place. By the way,
they do. Kit wants me to get rid of them, and so does Steph. But I'm keeping them around. I also have I backed the 2 pins as well, so I do have those.
Yeah.
But yes, I do enjoy the Demon Bitch as much as I hate her. It is a very fun genre, and just to kind of dick around with her on Twitter. So
Yeah.
we should definitely did a Sparkle Dog Demon Bitch crossover, but everything's been so chaotic lately.
Now, is this your first Kickstarter?
Yes. Yeah, and unfortunately, I picked something that is a very hard sell because why wouldn't I?
Oh, oh, do you guys have socials to follow? Twitters and Instagrams?
Oh, Haley. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Haley.
yep. So we have mine is Casual Nerd Chad on Twitter, and you can also find me on Facebook as well. And then
Okay.
Blake is Tuck_TUKK_roll.
So what you can do is put that in the private channel, copy and paste it. So
Sure.
yeah, sorry, I was on the wrong fucking thing for some reason. But yeah, so one of the fun things I had to experience this Halloween weekend. I mean, overall my Halloween weekend was fun. And I'm not trying to say this to go and, like put some undue attention to it, but I actually fell down the stairs on
Oh
Halloween.
no.
Well, it wasn't that. The thing is, first of all, it could have been serious, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I broke it. What happened was that I was wearing socks. I have wood steps, and I was walking down, and I slipped, and it was one of those situations. But I grabbed the handrail, and I started falling down the stairs. But luckily, it was my lower part of my body that got most of it than me. And now I'm just. It's like I'm banged up, but I'm not like bruised all over. I'm not like hurt. It just, I'm a little bit more sore. It's kind of like after a minor car accident or something like that.
Oh.
So don't worry, guys, or anything. Hey, Sparkle Dog rules. Hail Demon Bitch. All right. Yeah, it's not too late to do that. But this is your first Kickstarter, right? I did ask that.
It is, yes. Yep. And actually, Warren is a part of it.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yep,
What do you do?
His variant covers up actually at the beginning.
So this is his variant cover right here.
Nope, that's Kaylin Smith's. It's up. So it's actually right here. Nope.
This
down.
one.
Nope.
Very impressive.
Nope.
This one, right?
The one. Nope. Down one more.
Okay. This one.
Yes.
Oh, yes. The existential crisis upset right there.
Yes.
So here per se, leave what you wanted to do. It was the tuck roll and everything else. There's that Casual Nerd Chad. So you got them right there so you can follow them as well. And I'm sure if you DM them with horrible things, they would be happy about that too.
I would be very flattered.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, how's it going? So yeah, this is the current Kickstarter. So we're looking at that. I'm also going to copy this. Mm-hmm. And what kind of tiers are sticking out here?
I've actually got some. I kept it pretty simple for this one, but I got Warren Brown's variant cover as a tier, and then you can also get the standard cover, which was C. Michael Lanning's at the top, with Warren Brown's, Kaylin Smith's cover, Jason Lennox, and those three. And then I just dropped it, and I actually just updated it this morning because I completely forgot. I have a Undertale Bad Times sticker that's currently going that everybody gets once we're funded.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of that in the Kickstarter as well?
I just put it down below. It should have updated.
Okay. I like the neon colors. They make me think of like Rainbow Barf.
Yes. Yep. Well, that's what a Sparkle Dog is.
Oh, really? Is it an actual term?
Yeah. So I should probably mention Sparkle Dog that's the sticker.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Yep. Blake made a wonderful design. But no, Sparkle Dog is a term for a furry that is disgustingly bright and colorful. And it's kind of like a Lisa Frank with vomit.
Oh yeah, Lisa Frank. I know her too well. Like the Trapper Keepers with fucking Lisa Frank and shit. It's like weird because it's like you barely see her face, but when you do, you're like kind of like underwhelmed. And I'm not saying that to shit on the woman's looks. It just is weird, like how she presents herself, because like when they interview her, most of the time you never see her talking to the interviewer, the ones that I've seen. But then there will be ones that have, and it's just kind of weird, you know?
I've never
I
actually.
just don't know what that is about, but I just like something about her is just a surrealistic person, even though she looks like a normal woman,
I
if that makes sense.
I think it's when you look at her bright and disgustingly colorful artwork, and then you see her, you're like, oh, she's not like Miss Frizzle or the spooky godmother or something. She's just a
Yes.
regular person.
Yeah, she is like, I think the last time I saw her, she had long, straight, dark hair, straightish,
Yeah.
dark hair. And she just looked like somebody's mom. And just, she was actually very well groomed and everything. She just looked standard, well groomed woman. But I mean, it's weird because it's like now she has a tarot deck. And I'm into tarot decks. I like
She's a
card decks.
tarot deck?
Yeah, she has a tarot deck. Actually, well, I want to go down here because I don't want to distract from your Sparkle Dog stuff right here because this looks
okay.
really cool. But there's varying like stretch goals and such. So guys, please pick up on that. There's Blake stuff. There's Chad stuff. Chad always screams at Demon Bitch, so you really do have to go and be that person for me to go and back him. So let me go ahead and pop that up there. Let me just remove that down here. Sorry.
No, you're okay. Yeah, we also have too this week. We are dropping actually at 7:30 p.m. tonight. Me and Rodney Fike and Blake are going live on the Indie Comics Network, and we're going to be giving away 2 art cards. And actually, I should have dropped them in here, but I've been incredibly busy with everything. But we are giving away 2 original art cards for physical backers. I'm willing to make. It was supposed to end at 12:30 for the entrance today, but if you back now, I will be able to get you in, so you can be entered to win those 2 art or one of those art cards. So yeah.
So let's see if we've tallied up, guys. Like, let's see, 735. So guys, kick them over. It's like 1,500. So they got $800. You're doing pretty okay for 44 backers, 13 days to go. So you got some time. Retweet and follow the stuff. Chad and I were actually already following each other.
Yeah, I recognize Lee. I was like, oh wait a minute, yeah. I know Lee.
Lee's actually not a I don't want to say normie. It's like today is like I'm tired and stuff, but Lee's actually pretty consistent. He and I have worked on shit before, so he's a cool dude. I like Lee. I've known him for a while. But yeah, so I mean, like for me, it's like I know you've been very helpful with a Kickstarter. So hey guys, just back this Kickstarter. Chad's good for it. So is Blake. They're veterans of this shit. And this is Chad's first Kickstarter. So please go and back it.
Thank you.
I'll probably put it up there. Yeah. And then I'll go back. Yeah. So I'll go back to the drawing and I'll reshare the link out here again.
Sure.
But
no, we yeah, for our first Kickstarter, I think we're doing good. I mean, I would be kind of too. I guess I'm very humble about the amount of interest that people have been giving Sparkle Dog, especially with it being such a very strange and different concept. We actually thought of this idea thanks to me, Blake, and Kit selling his furry porn, Kit's furry porn, at the Motor City Comic-Con down the road. And we were talking, Blake and I were at lunch, and I go, hey, do you ever think, like, the suits are controlling them? Like, because I really do like fursuits. They put a ton of effort in these suits.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very pretty. But I'm like, and he's like, I don't know, like some kind of like what they put it on and they just channel something else. And I'm like, yeah. And that's kind of where Sparkle Dog started, was this just stupid idea of a fursuit controlling somebody. And then I compared it to Five Nights at Freddy's. And then the game of chicken started. We ended up doing I ended up writing a part of the script as a joke, and then Blake came back later with a page layout of it. And then that just kind of snowballed, and we one up each other, and by the time we were done, we were like, well, the first 2 scripts are done. Well, let's do a Kickstarter. So you get a nice 24-page book for this one, and so I definitely recommend checking it out. And it's different. So
Well, it also sounds like you guys have done the right thing and not like, and you've actually finished the fucking thing. Whereas some people, like, they just basically, I mean, I haven't seen too many in the Kickstarter crowd that we have done, but because most of them are veterans or they've been guided well by the veterans. But there's some people that say, I have not finished my book. I'm like, then what the fuck, dude? You know, and like, come on, finish your book. But what trips me out is like the people that have gotten, hey, Jay, how's it going? So the thing is that what I don't get is like the people that bought a big tier of yours, but for some fucking reason, they don't get back to you with an address. And you're like, you just dropped a fuck ton of money on this reward. Please, like, let me know so I can send it to you. I mean, again, it's on them because you've gone out of your way to contact them, like through any means you possibly can. But those are the most awkward for me because it's like, you just dropped a ton of money. I really want to go and give you your book, you know, because like you want to do that good faith thing. I mean, again, it's not on you, it's on them, and it doesn't mean that you're a horrible person, but it's sort of like, you know, you want to give people their shit, you know, because you paid for it, and you know.
No, and you're right, and along with that too, people are expecting you to keep updated with this stuff too.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, trust me. I mean, there have been times where I've received a Kickstarter and I forgot I even backed it.
Yeah.
But at least they got me that stuff on time. But I've heard horror stories of books just never getting to people, or people just stopped updating and disappeared. It's a horror story. But no, ours is, we're pretty much done. I mean, we got a couple of things we got to do, some coloring, some lettering. I think like I haven't really asked Blake what page number he's on, but yeah, we're in a good spot. That we will actually get everything out on time, and we know what we're doing. We've been guided by a lot of people. So we are very professional with this, and I am very, very stern. I act like a huge goofball, but I am also very professional behind the scenes with this kind of stuff. Right. I have a plan. I just don't like talking about it.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can talk about it, right? And then you talk about it and you continue talking about it. And then you talk about it and you're like, because like there's some projects I'm working on that I've talked about it minimally, but there's to a point where I really don't want to talk about it anymore, else I'm not going to do it. I mean, right now I'm working on a thing with Demon Bitch right now. And it's probably, you could see it's evident. It's like meets Mr. F word.
Oh. Yeah. What? Okay. I mean, this looks disgusting. Why would you do this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, come on. It's funny because the story, the idea that I got is that I kept getting invited to children events. And it's not like I hid of what Demon Bitch was, right? I did not hide who Demon Bitch was. I did not hide like what she was about at all. And some of the people I knew like ran these kid-friendly events. But again, didn't say, oh, if you don't get me in there, you're not my friend no more or whatever. I just was like, okay, you know, so I showed it and they just said, yeah, just cover up the bitch and we'll be fine. I'm like, oh. And you know, the parents were totally okay with it because they liked the message. And it wasn't like I was putting up just like a completely like shitty message. I mean, yes, the character is shitty and crappy, but
the message is there.
Yeah, it's just basically making fun of shitty people on the internet.
Right, exactly. And unfortunately, there's a lot of shitty people that need to be made fun of.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that basically pretend that they have cancer to get pity. I mean, and if people say like, well, you know, you make fun of people having cancer. I said, no, dumbass. No, people that pretend to have cancer.
Pretend to have, yep. Yeah, I was going to bring up that Kit ended up calling out a couple of eye artists on Twitter, but the cancer thing is way worse. No, it was funny. He, this one guy said, this piece is on stained glass with acrylics. And Kit was like, oh, that's an interesting medium. And he actually messaged the guy and said, hey, I want to see the original and I want to buy it. And the guy immediately deleted his account because it was AI drawings. That's what you need to make fun of too.
I probably will. Like, actually, my friend Dallas, he's also on the network. He was actually fucking around with Demon Bitch and AI drawings just to see what would come up. They came up pretty horrible.
Really?
Oh, we were laughing. Like he just fed it in there. Like he just was curious about it, so he fed it in. Oh man, did it not look good? It's like, well, that's Demon Bitch for you. Like it was just really weird. Like it was more twisted than whatever Demon Bitch could ever be. I was
I
actually shocked about that.
I
You know,
want to
and
see
people,
it now.
yeah, he gave me the pictures a long time ago. I don't think I saved them, but they were pretty funny, and we were laughing our asses off because Dallas has a very warped way of drawing, but this
Mhm.
was even more warped than usual. It was like funny, but yeah. So I'm like drawing Mr. F word right now.
So this is your new book?
Yeah, this is going to be one of the new books. I always put out a graphic novel of Demon Bitch, but then I also am going to do. I decided to do a line of kids books.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff that you would talk about that the adults would laugh at, but then like it would be like, sorry, I'm just drawing this. It would be like what I would be talking about, but at the same time, it would be something that you could read to your kids, but have a moral, which I'm a little fucker and I would do that anyway.
Mhm.
But it's not the typical thing. It's like one time I said, oh yeah, Demon Bitch goes to church, and people like, oh, you should have her arguing with the pastor. I'm like, no, because that's stupid, because that's what everybody expects.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I just take an idea. It's like, hey, Glenn, what's up? I mean, that's the thing. It's like I always take things and I kind of just fuck with people,
Mhm.
and I just kind of go like, oh, that's what you should do, So there you go, right? So
No, and I'm actually, I remember when you first introduced Demon Bitch, unfortunately, to us, and I was like, huh, I wonder how far this is gonna go. And now somebody somewhere said, yes, we want a kid's book.
yeah, well, I just decided to do a kid's book just because I wanted to be a little asshole and do a kid's book.
Uh-huh.
Well, people were having their kids read it anyway, so who gives a shit, right? I might as well go the whole way, right?
Right, no, absolutely. And you might as well be, I don't know, have something kid friendly, and that way they can look up to, I don't know, something in the adult category eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this. It's like it's going to be called Demon B, because but I mean, she's going to have essentially the same design, but she's just like going to be, you know, I mean, it's weird because like I have worked with kids books before and kids stories. What's weird is like, okay, so I'll draw like somebody in pants, right? And you have to draw the crotch to like show where the legs meet and stuff. And I would put a zipper. I mean, it wasn't like totally focused on the, just like if they're wearing pants, show that they're wearing shorts or something, right?
Right.
And one person said to me, "Oh my God, you focus so much on their crotch." I'm like, I just drew a zipper thing.
It's just noticeable. It's not focusing on it.
Yeah, it's like, and I drew their pelvis. That's all I drew. It's not like I drew their hips or any of that bullshit. It's like I just thought that was really weird of that person to get that touchy about it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you drew a crotch. It's like I didn't draw like a fucking bulge or a schlong. Calm down. I didn't draw a camel toe.
I mean, you could have.
I didn't want to. I mean, this is for kids. I mean,
Sure.
I'm not into like drawing like overly sexual things for children. I think that's kind of drawing the line.
Well,
there.
I mean, that's weird. And that's one of
That's
the things
very crazy.
with Sparkle Dog. That's what we've said is we don't want to do over sexualizing anything child related.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's very disgusting. But no, I think it's funny that somebody pointed out the zipper crotch, because it's like, if you're the one who noticed that, then you might be the problem, because I guarantee you if I showed this to a kid, they're just going to think it's a zipper.
Yeah, it's like, well, it kind of shows, it has to show like what it looks like.
Right. Like, it's whatever. What a weird world we live in.
Yeah, right?
It's just I hate our world, but that's a whole other disgusting.
Well, I don't hate
discussion.
the world if I hate some shit that's in it, but that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So when is this coming out?
When I'm finished with it, which will probably be fairly soon. I mean, the thing is, I don't put too many dates. I'm probably going to try to get it done before the end of the year. So I probably want to do another Kickstarter. Like, because what I do is like for graphic novels, I fund my graphic novels plus the Kickstarter. So, with a Kickstarter. So, I mean, also I'm working on Sepulchre, and I've got the Murder Ballads Tarot that I want to go and fund. And I started doing research on it, but I also I was thinking about doing another Kickstarter this year, but because of economics and everything, I'm kind of going like, this didn't seem like the right time.
Right.
And I wanted prices to kind of stabilize first before I did a Kickstarter. Because which was actually a good instinct on my part because it actually grew. Inflation just rose really sharply. So it's like whatever I would declare now and run the Kickstarter, I'd probably be fucked now, especially with shipping and all that. And we've got holiday shipping coming up, and they raise the rates for that and blah, blah, blah. So next year, I'm probably looking at it stabilizing off so I can at least have an idea or a better idea of what to go on and everything else.
Yeah, I'm kind of learning that maybe it wasn't a good idea to do the Kickstarter currently. But at the same time, though, it would be nice if things eventually died down with how our inflation is. I don't want to be homeless, is my point.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm really excited to see the new Kickstarter because Demon Bitch is a great thing to follow. Unfortunately, me saying that from my
Yeah.
mouth.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like I wanted to do it in a way that was funny and was full of doo-doo jokes, but it was what people could understand. But I'm kind of a stickler with points. Like I want to be a stickler, and I don't mean it in an anally stupid way, like, oh, I'm right or wrong. It's more of like I want to get my point across, but I want to do it in a way that's funny to people because they like, oh, I get this. And partially it's like to get my anger out or whatever. I mean, it's not like it's the thing is what I find wrong with a lot of humor nowadays is that it's mean. And it's like, okay, you want to make fun of a group of things or group stuff. What am I doodling this time? I'm doodling Hyde Hermit. I'm guessing this is Dallas. Meet Mr. F Word. So yeah, I mean, the thing is that I'm kind of at this point now where I want to put the point across because shit pisses me off, but I don't want to put it across like, oh my God, all I'm attacking are neckbeards or furries or whatever. Right. Because I think that's it's not very good comedy in general. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. It's very cheap comedy.
Oh, yeah.
It's cheap because it's like you're not differentiating between stupid shit people do that's not relatable. So a lot of the anger webcomics that I see sometimes are people lecturing other people. And I find that kind of offensive to me because you're talking down to people. And I was actually at Klexicon, and they were actually asking if you have a point and a high point. I've always stated to people, great, you may have a higher moral ground depending on what you are. It doesn't matter what. But if you talk down to people, that after a while gets very tiresome, and a majority of people will not like you. Actually, the people that actually groove with that sort of thing are like that themselves. And they're not likable people. They're assholes, And that's what I found in my comic work. So it's like, if you want to bring up a point, I think that's fine, but talk to your audience. Don't talk down to your audience or at your audience. And I think with a lot of humor nowadays, it's talking at people or down to them, not about them. Like, oh yeah, this point, remember this? Is this right? And they're like, oh shit. And they go, oh shit, you're right. It's not like you're right because I'm right because of my higher moral ground or something. It's like, oh shit, it's right because it's true. And the thing is, comedy is the biggest form of truth. And people go like, oh, well, that's hard to do. And it's like, or that's not cool. And like, that's what the most successful comics do. It brings out like the truth of the situation at that point.
Well, yeah, it also doesn't with comedy is you're not supposed to make people feel ashamed of what they are or what they're doing. Like, you want them to be able to say, oh yeah, that's totally true. Us Mormons do knock at the door and never go away. Like that kind of stuff.
Actually, what's funny is like, it's not the Mormons that do that. Actually.
No, I'm just giving an example. But
oh, okay. Yeah. No. I mean, but it's Jehovah's Witnesses that do, in my experience.
Oh, really?
It's like they kind of like, you're like, go. And then they're like, and they just stay there and they bring more of their friends. And you're like, fucking A, dude.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's so many people that come door to door now. But no, it's
not just in my neighborhood. It's weird.
You wanna be able to make people say, "Oh yeah, that is true. It is funny when you look at it," and not go, "Oh yeah, I am like that," and then they get really depressed about it.
Or if they feel like that, at least it's funny. At least it's relatable. Like, oh shit, yeah, I do that too.
Right. But you don't want them to get depressed about it and then have to think on it like an existential crisis. Like that's mean to me. Because I don't want people to. Well, I mean, I guess I can't help them to, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I was trying. That's was kind of the biggest challenge with Sparkle Dog when I've gotten told, well, it's a couple of furries have said that it's insensitive. I'm like, well, I'm not really being mean. I'm just pointing out the parodies of what the culture represents.
Yeah.
And that's funny. Yeah, like in one of the issues, it does bring up a very unfortunate true story that happened.
Oh,
But
what is this unfortunate true story? You should tell it.
oh man, look up Rainforest, the story of the band FurryCon, as to why the furries are that's kind of what, well, it's not exactly what started it all, but that convention, they essentially destroyed the hotel with very questionable bodily fluids and
Oh shit! Talk about
other
that.
things.
Let's put controversy, because controversy is our middle name right here on this show.
Right, but I actually change it in the story to something different. That kind of ties the whole story together. And it makes it more comical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and when I was pitching it to a couple of people, there are some people who got it, and there were some people who didn't. Oh no, yeah, we have to do that too on Indie Comics Network when we bring up controversial stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh.
just okay. Tell us the actual story first of all.
Yeah.
Like just let us know the actual story so we have context.
Oh,
So
okay.
that people
Yeah.
will go find the book.
Sure. So it was 2015, I believe. And what happened is that they were all the furries went to a hotel, and this was a convention that was pretty well known. Usually it was just people go, they drink, they do whatever furries do. And during the convention, somebody decided to clog the toilets with diapers and flood some of the public bathrooms. They also trashed the rooms with bodily fluids. So all the rooms were getting destroyed. And there was I think $1 million worth of damage was done.
Oh shit.
They ended up putting dirty diapers on cars and in cars and having sex on everywhere. Like in the convention, they were getting drunk and harassing people and a lot of drugs. Like it was just a nightmare of a convention.
Holy shit! Where was this, and which state?
Let me double check. It was somewhere over in the west, so over in the California area. Let me double check.
That kind of reminds me of, I think it was Anime LA. I'm trying to remember, but it was where this one guy was stalking this one chick, and he set fire to her car, but ended up setting fire to all the. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's scary because I know somebody that knew the girl being stalked, which was nuts. Yeah, it was crazy. I felt kind of bad for her. I mean,
poor girl.
It sucks. Yeah. I mean, the guy's in prison now for fucking doing that shit, which he should be.
Well, good. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's it was just kind of it was also a dumbass thing because apparently he poured gasoline apparently on the car, but he wasn't aware that gasoline's a liquid and it runs down, and the cars were kind of at an incline. Then he tried to do that cool, I'm going to flick the match in and it's going to set on fire. He didn't do that. So obviously the dumbass had to actually strike the match and put it in, or actually properly ignite it. I'm not saying it's good to burn people's cars, so shut the fuck up, people.
But you can't just flick a match into it.
Yeah, but it actually caught him on camera more and more.
Yeah.
So because of the liquid that went under, the fire spread and fucking totaled 6 cars, including hers.
As you would do, because you're obsessed with whatever.
Because he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. It's first of all, apparently this girl had a boyfriend. Okay, number one.
Oh.
Number two, it's look, you want to go. That's not how you win somebody over. That's actually, stalking is a weird form of desperation in a very, very weird way, and like that type of stalking.
Yeah, that's why I don't stalk you anymore. Anyway.
Well, I guess I'm glad that you actually have higher self-esteem now.
Aww.
Well, we went there. Went there, guys. Okay, but yeah, that's what happened with Anime LA. So it's continue. So they did $1 million in damage and whatever.
Yeah, it was in Seattle. is I'm looking at it now, but it was assault, sexual assault, drug possession, vandalism, a lot of police, a lot of arrests. And they actually, like any other hotel, you do the logical thing and just fund it for next year, right? No, they ended up canceling it and terminating it. They actually had it, which is kind of disappointing. It was at the Hilton, so it was a nice hotel. So it wasn't like anything particularly terrible, but so Rainforest has actually been debunked for the past, since 2015 after that incident. So they haven't been able to make a full recovery. You can actually watch, there's a video of it by Internet Historian on YouTube that gives you a big breakdown of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's actually where I originally learned of that convention. Actually, Motor City FurCon ended up getting some controversy as well, not as much, but we got a letter after the convention, all the vendors, because I was vending at it with Kit, saying that please don't have sex in the public bathrooms or masturbate each other in the lobby.
That is really weird.
Yeah, luckily the Eagle Crest said that they could come back next year, but this is if they do destroy it or they do anything, like that again, they will get banned. And that's probably my biggest problem with a lot of, I mean, anime conventions, furry conventions, they all do these really controversial and terrible things. And it's like, guys, why would you do that? When you go to these conventions, you're here to connect with people that love the same stuff as you. Why would you ruin that for everybody? Go have sex in the bedroom. Go home and have sex. I mean, you can get drunk all you want in a hotel. Nobody cares. You can do drugs. That's fine. But don't ruin the good time for everybody. It's not
like I've seen weird ass memes like of varying people from varying things. Like, I jerked off in the fucking girl's bathroom. Now, what people are wondering why I should get arrested for this post. I said, you probably shouldn't be publicly admitting to doing things like that in a public restroom.
Right.
Like, okay, you got to stall. Like, just whatever you do behind the fucking stall, just do it behind the fucking stall. Don't make a light of it or something. And
don't talk about it. Like these people who post these TikToks where they're like, oh, I'm gonna poop on somebody's desk. And it's like, you probably shouldn't do that kind of stuff. You ever just think that? Or record it? Are you dumb? But it was actually the Motor City one kind of took me by surprise because when we went there, it was very chill. It was just everybody was wandering around, everybody was very friendly, and then we get this letter, and I'm like, Kit, why are we missing all the fun?
Like that happened? What the fuck?
Yeah,
like at TwitchCon, okay, so I was with Hyde Hermit, that's Dallas and my friends Dallas and Connie, and we tabled there over at the Artist Alley, and we were kind of ones that stuck out like a sore thumb because we weren't anime artists, quote unquote. I do Demon Bitch. I mean, I do other things, but yeah. So what ended up happening was apparently this one woman, she jumped off. Like, I didn't know about it because I didn't really go on the exhibition floor during business hours. I mean, during cons, if I table, I'm there to make money. It's like, I'll probably go down there for a break if it's not too crowded, but I'll go there early in the morning before it opens to do anything. Right. So I walked down. So apparently there was this foam pit, that people could jump off a platform and all that shit. And I guess that was like at Casual Nerd Chad, don't be like this. Oh my God. Anyway, so what ended up happening is that I'm looking at my fucking Twitter notification. I'm wondering what the fuck shit you said. Let's see.
Don't be like this. Are you talking about the one where she broke her back or whatever?
Yeah, like I saw a clip of it, and I guess she was a porn star.
Oh.
And she jumped off. And initially when I saw the clip, she looked like she landed on her ass, but there must have been like a platform hidden under the memory foam because her it looked like what, I'm not trying to be crude, guys, but it's like it's just like I know I'm crude, but I'm not trying to be insensitive. It just looked painful. It looked weird. She like one cheek like hit a platform or something and it bent to the side. And I was like, ooh, that looks like it hurt. And apparently the poor woman, like she basically, I read up on it. She had to have rods inserted in her back. She had to have she had nerve damage from her bladder, and I think her tailbone got broken, and apparently she was unknowingly pregnant and lost the pregnancy at that point. So it was like, Jesus Christ.
What?
But I think, another person apparently got injured too. Like, not a superstar, but one of the Twitchers.
Mhm.
And apparently now that could potentially be facing lawsuits at that point. But they only had like 1 or 2 feet of memory foam to cushion. And I'm like, that's really weird. And I mean, as I said, I saw a clip of that. And I'm kind of like, well, moral of the story is don't like go and jump into questionable foam pits at like some internet type of streaming type. Because there was a one called Ball Pit Con that my friend said, and apparently they said they promised a big ball pit, full size ball pit. I think I remember. He told me about it. I forgot the name.
It's shoot, it's DashCon.
DashCon, that was it.
Yes.
And I guess like in order, because they paid extra for something, they said, well, you can have an extra thing in the ball pit because this canceled. And it turned out that the ball pit was just nothing but a kiddie pool with a few like balls. And I guess it was called Ball Pit Con or something, but it was not good.
That's what they dubbed it as, yeah, because it was a very, very sad con. I guess they sang Queen songs for 2 hours in one of the rooms because that was one of the panels they were doing because none of the panelists showed up.
Yeah.
Also, somebody peed in that ball pit too.
Uh-huh.
So, that ruined it for everybody.
Ew, it's always some asshole that did that. Oh, Jay said he saw that video. Yeah, the foam wasn't that deep. You could probably find it online, but it didn't look good. It was like, because like literally when she jumped and landed, all the foam like left, like just got blown aside because, you're going to jump into it. It's, it was weird because like I saw that and I was like going, ooh, no.
Yeah.
Like they should have had it deeper personally, but yeah, it's just either way. I mean, it wasn't just her that got injured. There were a couple of other people that got injured. I think she hurt her wrist too. I know another person probably did, but yeah, it was a fairly high platform. You jumped and how she landed was really awkward because it was on her butt, but yeah.
I don't understand why if you're pregnant, you would jump.
No, she didn't know she was pregnant. That's the thing. She had no idea she was pregnant. She lost the pregnancy because they had to do surgery on her. And the surgery, she didn't know she was pregnant. That's the thing. She unknowingly was pregnant. And it's like, oh, well, add to that lawsuit.
Oh, I thought you said she was obnoxiously pregnant in the beginning.
No, she was unknowingly pregnant at the beginning.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, man.
Yeah, it just got kind of worse. Like the problem spiraled. So I don't know I don't know who hosted that pit at TwitchCon. I don't know if it was one of the exhibitors or whatever, but I was like, whoa, because there's Wendy's there, Capital One was there. They had some game. It was kind of like if SDCC and E3 had a baby.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is Capital One doing there? Trying to get people for insurance?
Credit and banking. And they were serving coffee.
Oh, I mean, the free coffee?
Yeah, it was interesting because like Twitch was also selling some merchandise that kind of looked like the solo cups, like the pastel solo cups. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool. I like that a lot. Was it a good con?
It was actually not bad. I mean, Artist Alley was fun. The people there were nice.
Yeah.
Like the other Twitchers there were nice. We made a couple friends. There's this one guy named what's his name? I'm trying to remember. I'm terrible with names today. As I said, it's like I fell down the stairs. No, I did not hit my fucking head, guys. Thanks very much.
Did you die?
If I did, that was very brief. It only itched. I'm trying to remember his. It's like something Delta Crab Music. So go follow him. Delta Crab Music. He's actually a pretty cool guy. Very nice guy. He bought 3 of the books.
Ew. Why would he do that?
I guess he liked how they smelled.
Oh, no. Delta Crab
Music. That's what I love about Demon Bitch, because it's like I like to go and make fun of her, and I like to say how shitty it is, but yet that makes the comic better.
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree. That's why when we're actually trying to sell this, I'm selling it as My Little Abomination.
Yeah.
And a book that shouldn't exist. And so far, it's been a lot of fun selling it as something that you hate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I mean,
and
the
you,
thing is that you're not taking yourself too seriously if it's something that you hate.
mhm, exactly. And it's like, people should see, or hopefully, like, see the irony in it, I guess, of if we if a creator is saying, yeah, I don't like this, this is stupid, this is dumb and disgusting, but they're putting in a lot of effort in selling it,
Hmm.
that's the way that they're like, that's their marketing tool
Hmm.
strategy with it. That's not like a thing of their, well, they just don't care about the book. No, they're purposely doing that.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's like beefs on fucking the thing. And like, I think some people in nowadays in the Twitterverse or whatever. I mean, some people genuinely get into beefs or something. But
mhm,
the thing is that what I've seen is that I've seen so many internet beefs go so super bad because I think half the time one party is trying to inflame the other person to
yep,
get more ratings. And the problem with that is that if the person is in the not in the know,
mhm,
then it doesn't come out well and you might get a lawsuit
yep,
or a restraining order as a result because it's like you have to have the person that is in the know with the beefs involved, that way you can both have fun with it.
right,
So it's like this oh, Vincent DeLon, hey Christy, just saying hi and liking the show, thank you very much. So yeah, it's just one of those deals where I was just laughing about it because it was
mhm,
just sort of like, when I see people trying to do beefs, that they're trying to make the situation worse,
mhm,
but they are actually making it worse, because the other person isn't involved. So they're being insulting and mean. It's like, come on, it's WWE. It's like, no,
no,
you have to understand, even if these fucking wrestlers hate each other, they have to orchestrate it and script it according to that.
right,
It's
exactly,
it doesn't get all crazy and they can't just call off and actually beat each other up because you can actually have assault charges. But if it's
right,
like, even if the two wrestlers hate each other, they know that it has to be scripted to a point. Like,
yes,
okay, I can hate you and hate this. I don't know of any actual beefs like that are real. I think Goldberg and Stone Cold had a beef for a while. I think
I
they did. I don't know. I
probably,
mean, I can't remember it right now, but they were. But the thing is that these are contractually, they have to be contractually done
mhm,
in that way. So that's all I'm saying is that it has to be orchestrated or done in a way where it's not going to go cause serious injury, at least without any sort of whatever, if that makes sense.
right, exactly, and also too, people need to stop taking it serious, because I understand, like, when you're watching these dramas like this, I don't know, there was that little Bow Wow and that one girl, like, they were tweeting and he was getting rejected by her. Do people are like, oh man, just watching him get murdered, and they think it's real, and I'm like, guys, it's not. Like, a lot of these beefs online are either they're fake or they're not as terrible as they're perceived as.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, to be honest, it was ridiculous. Like, I think like even they found footage of Kanye West and Taylor Swift. You know how he went on there and said, "Oh, Beyonce should have won" and all this other shit.
mm-hmm,
It's like I think they were both in on it. That's what I've heard. There was actually a clip leaked that yeah, they were discussing and laughing about it afterwards or
yeah,
something. So it's just like shit like that. Like when they were talking about them, like it's just it was ridiculous kind of thing. It's like, don't tell me that a person actually went up there and did it. And now like the whole thing with, I guess her name was Little Feather, when Marlon Brando declined the award on the sake of the Native Americans or something. It was like in the 70s.
oh, okay,
Yeah, it's old. It's like something Little Feather. Apparently her family came out and said that was fake. She was never Native. And I'm like,
oh,
yeah. I mean, I haven't really looked into it, but they were coming out with that. And it's like, wow, that's like an old ass thing that was like over X amount of years ago, and that was totally fake. Now I don't know if Brando was in on it or if he unwittingly went along with a ruse. I don't know, but apparently her family came out. It's like, yeah, she was never a Native American. I'm like, wow.
then what is she?
I guess she was some white
Something
girl.
else.
Some white girl. I don't know. I didn't look into it. That's the only thing I would have known as.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's so weird. Why would you do that? Like, that just seems stressful to fake whatever nationality or whatever you
I
are.
don't know, the desire for reward and attention. I mean, you look at Rachel Dolezal, and she faked being black, and I'm like, okay. why, but then she got benefits from that. Like she got monetary benefits from that. And now it's like, she's like going, I don't know why Black people don't like me every time I walk in the room. I said, well, you pretended like you were one of them to get things. They're pretty pissed off about that. That would offend anybody, really. So,
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but you pretended to be somebody, isn't? Have you seen? There is a there are real people who do want to identify as different races.
yeah,
Is
it's like
a real thing.
transracial or something.
Yeah, and it is very, to cause controversy. It's very stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because like they had attention is a powerful. It really is. Well, there was one woman. She was in her 80s, and she was actually white, but she didn't know. She was raised with a Black family, and it wasn't, I think, common at the time. But a Black family did adopt her from a white family, but she was raised as Black, and she wasn't obvious. It was like she had dark hair. She could look kind of, what is it? She could look ambiguous or something, right?
Oh, okay.
So like she looked kind of racially ambiguous anyway. So so she could have passed for a lot of things. But she was saying but she was going on and on about it. She said it was very interesting because she did not learn she was white until she researched her family and found out she was actually adopted.
Oh, I mean, you can't blame her for that. I mean,
no. I mean, that's the only time I could understand. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, she didn't know. She thought she was this person, this identity.
Mhm.
You know, it happens. I mean, that's why I was like, you know, and
Yeah.
it looked like she looked kind of ambiguous anyway. So it was sort of like, you know, she probably just assumed her parents were telling her the truth or whatever they told her, and
Yeah.
that's it.
You're gonna believe your parents, so
Mm-hmm.
whatever. No, there's a guy. Kids actually told me about him. I think it's a Russian guy,
Mhm.
but he gets cosmetic surgery to look like one of the guys from BTS.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Like
Yeah.
a lot of guys from Brazil, a lot of guys like they're doing makeup they're doing plastic surgery and shit and makeup to look like a K-pop star. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, because I know some Koreans in like the Asian cultures do get their eyes widened and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I get that, but why do you want to get that? Like, why do you want to get your eyes lowered? Like, what's the benefit? What's the benefit of
makes it
getting your
look
eyes
bigger.
opened more?
It makes it look bigger, personally. Like that's the type of stuff, you know.
Is that like a symbol of something? I legitimately don't. I never
Well,
understand why that's such a fascination.
Having been from that, it's just like to make you look prettier. You know, it's like bigger
Oh.
eyes are considered pretty, and like having the fold makes it look bigger too. So it's like a coming of age thing for a while. You know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, truth be told, I just thought it was easier to draw with anime. So, which is true.
Well-
like, that is one of the reasons why they do draw them like that. But,
Yeah.
Still, I didn't know that. That's a
Yeah.
coming of age thing. Huh. But, honestly, big eyes are creepy. Like, have you seen horror movies where they have the big eyes? It's really scary. I watched a Korean film called Gojima Haunted Asylum, and one of the girls has like giant eyes and her whole eyes turn black, and it is the most terrifying thing ever. It's actually a very good movie, and I highly recommend it. It's on Shudder. So, but I was like, I just want somebody to tell me, oh, I'm just doing it so I can look scarier.
Well, I mean, also you have to kind of look at it like how they're doing it too. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. I will never understand why you would want to get your skin a different color. Like
the Ganguro was like the weird thing too. Like for a while, like there were a lot of people in Japan like that really liked the whole Black Power thing. I think in the 90s, so they would tan themselves.
Yeah.
Really dark. And I think it was going against like actual Asian beauty norms, because a lot of the Asian beauty norms is the paler you are, the prettier you are, or the more high class you are. Oh, hey, what's up, Philip? This is my friend Philip.
Hello.
Chad, Philip, how's it going? He was running in a show earlier.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, fantastic.
I did.
Yeah, so Yeah, so he does Comic Nerd Press, and Chad's running a Kickstarter. It is called. Let me take a look because I'm doing 10 million.
To answer your question, Quentin, yes, I did 31 Days of Halloween last month, and every day my wife and I flip-flopped movies. I watched Barbarian as one of the last movies, and man, that movie is it's good, but they overhyped that movie so badly.
Was it just kind of like not
It was just weird.
like how was it weird? What's it about?
Well, it's about a haunted Airbnb. No, it's about this girl who buys a proper or rents an Airbnb in Detroit with this one guy, and she finds out that another guy is staying there, played by Bill Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård. That Skarsgård guy. He is staying there, and they end up having to share it. Well, a bunch of weird supernatural things start happening. And you find out later when she goes into the basement, what's down there is more of like this creepy witch thing. And you're like, oh, that's scary. But then as it goes, you just find out it's The Hills Have Eyes, but in an Airbnb.
So you just have a bunch of like different fucking mutants in like the fucking bottom part of the fucking Airbnb. Is that it?
You have one mutant, but yes. But people were saying it's the scariest movie of the decade. It's the scariest movie of the year. And I'm watching this and I go, did you watch like Boss Baby 2 or something? Like that was way scarier. Like it's just a weird thing. But yeah, that movie was good for a movie standpoint. Justin Long's in it, which was really funny because every movie I watch with him in it,
He gets really fucked in every
he
horror
does. Yes, and he gets fucked in this one, and it's really funny. Because I was watching Tusk, and I know everybody's gonna hate me for that, but I was watching Tusk, and I'm like, man, that guy got shit on in that movie.
You know what? They're actually making a sequel to Tusk.
They are.
And they're currently doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, is it Tusk 2 or is it the Moose Jaw one?
Honestly, I would have to look because it's been a while since I listened to Kevin Smith's podcast, but I know they're doing a direct sequel to it, and it was funny because when they were talking about sequels and they were talking about Clerks 3, they're like, yeah, finally you ended your trilogy. Like, how does it feel to do a sequel to Clerks? And he's like, have you not paid attention to every film I've made? Everything is a sequel to Clerks. And he's like pointing it out. Like,
love it.
So, and it's true though. Every character he's ever put in Clerks is in another movie.
Yep. No, it's true. I guess this series, the Tusk series, is part of another trilogy called The True North.
Yes.
Yeah. Moose Jaws. That's what it's called. Yeah, Moose Jaws. Yep. But yeah, I do see that they are doing a sequel. Huh. Man, how are you gonna do it? Oh, I also heard too that the reason why Johnny Depp is not credited in Tusk is because his agent said that it wasn't enough money to star in it. So Johnny Depp just showed up on set to film his parts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
It's very weird, but I thought that was really funny. And that just means that you got a good friendship going, like an Adam Sandler type thing, you know? Like, hey, you want to be in this movie? And you can't hate Adam Sandler for having all these friends just show up and film a movie with him, even if it's terrible and dumb, you know?
Right.
Like, they just do what they do, but that was a dumb movie. I enjoyed Tusk. I know a lot of people didn't, but I thought it was funny. But I also like dumb stuff like that, so.
Yeah, no, I liked the first half of Tusk. Like, it really built up the tension. It was just the ending for me was just like, why didn't they give him a more, a more tragic ending? But at the same time, I understand why they went the black comic route, like just to make it really dark and creepy, but yet funny. So
yeah,
I get it. I do get it.
I did too. I was like, when you really thought about it, it sort of had to end that way because at first I thought I knew the ending. I was like, okay, yeah, it's gonna end this way. And then when they showed that, I'm like, oh, that's much worse.
Right.
So, But yeah, no, it's it was an enjoyable movie. But 31 Days of Halloween, if you ever want to do it, it's a lot of fun. You discover new movies. So
I'm gonna do that next year. This last year there wasn't really good horror movies. Like I heard you guys talking about Barbarian, and I started watching it. I didn't finish it yet. Everyone said it was this great movie, but then like I talked to real horror fans like you and others, and it's like, yeah, no, maybe it's not as great. Like because everyone was talking about it and saying it was this great movie and all this, and I watched the new one, and yeah, it's more in line with the book, absolutely, but there's like the ending still sucked, and that was just like I know that's probably gonna make a lot of people mad, but yeah.
Oh no, I liked the first the 2016 chapter 1 It.
Yeah.
But chapter 2 is terrible. Like I watched that as one of the last days for 31 days, and I was just like, honey, this is 3 hours of bullshit. Like, it was so bland. Terrifier 2 is supposed to be really like making people vomit.
Yeah, I want to see it. Chris Jericho has been promoting it on his page.
Is he in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, why?
Well, because he's gotten into acting. Like,
sure.
You know, like Kevin Smith put him in a film, and then later on he went into that Quentin Tarantino film, and then now it's, you know, so, yeah, like he's, I guess, getting the acting bug, I guess, you know, but
a lot of these wrestlers get into acting.
Well, I kind of understand why. I mean, do you want to be a stunt person for your entire life and then roll around in a wheelchair, or do you want to like make your splash and then get into acting to where it's less damaging on your body?
It's theatrical. It's theatrical in acting anyway.
That is
true. And a lot of them already have the skill sets as an actor from wrestling, and I know it's cheesy acting, but they already have that skill set, so transitioning is a little bit better for them. I do enjoy the fact that every wrestler that always starts out in acting always either starts out in children's movies or just really awful B movies.
Well, they gotta get their. I mean, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger was not a wrestler, he was Mr. Universe. You know, he did like the very dubbed version of Hercules Goes to Hollywood or some shit, and then he did other ones. And like, I have to hand it to that guy. He practiced his English so he would be more recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he worked hard at that. And then he did some really shitty, cheesy movies. And I think his like big break was in Conan, and then he did a whole slew of action movies after that.
Yep.
But I think Conan was his big break.
Well, yeah, because then I mean, look at Rock. Now he started off in Scorpion. Was he? I think that was when he made his bigger debut.
Yeah.
He was in The Mummy, and then he got paid like an insane amount just for his face on a bug.
Fucking body. And it was
horrible. Oh yeah, that was the Mummy. That was the third Mummy, I think.
Yeah.
For the Scorpion King. Like they did a standalone movie, The Scorpion King, but then they did like the Mummy. Yeah, they did two. Yeah. Like, oh, they did two of the Scorpion King?
Yeah.
Because I know they did one of the Mummy, because it's based on the Mummy. So they showed him as CG'd on there, but then like the Scorpion King, they did a separate movie on that.
Yep. And now he's in Jumanji.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
I actually liked the first one. Like, I can't. My biggest problem is that I actually do like The Rock. So anything he's in, I don't really hate it because he's always just goofy. Like every time I walk in, I go, "Yep, this is a movie with The Rock. I am satisfied," and then I just leave.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just he's one of those guys where he's just really hard to hate when he's in a movie. That's why I'm kind of hesitant on seeing Black Adam because I don't want my heart to break.
Oh no, Black Adam was fucking awesome.
Was it? Oh, good. Because a lot of people are telling me different. Like a lot of people on Facebook are saying it's. Nobody said it's good. Everybody said it's fine, and I'm like, but it looks really cool.
Well, okay.
I mean, are they going to put too much on it? That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, now.
okay, so as a movie fan, I can see where they're coming from. It's fine. It's definitely a spaghetti western wrapped in a superhero cape.
Really?
100% a spaghetti western. I shit you not. But as a DC fan, I'm more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan. And if you're going in for like the Marvel movie experience, then yeah, you're going to say it's fine. So that's that is what I've noticed. If you are a hardcore DC fan like I am, then you're going to love it. Because most of my pull list is from DC every month for comics.
Shockingly, so is mine. I think the only three that I'm right now with Marvel is Hulk, Thor, and Venom. Everything else is mostly DC.
Yeah.
I also just collect trades though, so I'm always behind on stuff.
If it weren't for Donny Cates, I probably would have stopped reading Marvel.
Same. Oh my god. That is exactly why I'm reading Thor and Venom, because I am a biased fucking Donny Cates crack whore. Like, God, I love reading that guy. One of my boss at my job says that he's overrated, and I always tell him to go fuck himself. No, Thor's been really good. I gotta read his Hulk. I'm still finishing up Immortal Hulk, which I really do like that. But his Hulk, I heard, is very, very silly.
Yeah.
Which one, Donny Cates?
Yeah.
Well, I just like the fact that Donny Cates came out and with his, and was being truthful about his addictive past, and he's used it in his storytelling to where it's like, yeah, okay, I've had addictions, and like, turning Venom into more of an addiction for Eddie Brock and things like that. Like, that was a fascinating take. I can see why Marvel said, okay, let's do that. And honestly, I would like to see that more within the Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah.
Because the second one, Let There Be Carnage, was a great film for like a popcorn flick for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see his being like more addicted, eventually getting addicted to what the symbiote can be. And then, then going after Spider-Man and then him having that addictive thing. I think that would be a fun story.
No, I agree. I loved the Tom Hardy Venoms. They were movies that didn't need to exist. And it was also a movie that we didn't know we needed, and goddamn.
Well, I think also what's kind of great about Tom Hardy is that he didn't play like a great guy. He kind of played like an ass.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie Brock is not an asshole. He's kind of just an ass. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
But he's not a horrible person. He just does stupid shit half the time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, don't do it, dude. All right, you did it. Whatever.
Yeah. That's what I liked about Donny Cates' Venom, is that every time he fucked up, it was always like a good intention, though.
Yeah.
Like, he was always like, yeah, I can't tell this kid that I'm his dad because it would destroy him and I'm a deadbeat. But then it like screws him over. Like, and obviously not to give spoilers, but there's that, connection.
Well,
thing.
I just kind of wonder, we were talking about bad guys and stuff, and it's sort of weird how I sort of marketed myself into something of a rebel, I guess. And it's not an act. I mean, I guess that's how I've always been. But I remember I was marketing myself completely opposite. They tell you and preach to you in school, you got to be professional. You got to do this. You got to go.
Don't. Yeah.
And it's funny because like the moment I started swearing and making acidic social commentary is which I did anyway. I just would have very sarcastic things, but it's like, oh no, you got to keep it to a minimum. But now it's like when I went full on that, it's like people really like that better. It's kind of like a comparison to The Rock, where he marketed himself off as a good guy initially. Nobody fucking paid attention. It was like Rocky something or another, and he was like this really good guy. And now it's like when he's The Rock, it's like he's a bad dude. He's not overtly a piece of shit asshole, but it's like there's an edge to him, and I think people like that.
Oh yeah, they like not the bad boy side, but they like the more not menacing. I'm trying to find the right word, but yes, I get what you're saying.
I more like the cockiness, like I think that there's the gravitas to the quintessential cocky person that knows that he's good and knows that he can do it, and he says he can do it, and pisses you off that he can do it, but then you're still entertained because you're like, will he like back up his shit talk this time, or will he get smacked in the mouth? And
right.
That kind of storytelling is quite interesting, I think. Like, and I think that's what makes a good bad guy is like you love them, but you don't understand why. And I think Neil Gaiman once said, the reason why villains are so relatable is because eventually we start seeing ourselves in them, and that's when they become complicated. And I completely agree with that 100%.
I do too. I don't like the how they overplay the sympathetic villain. That's probably the biggest thing that I don't like. But I actually have to run because my wife is getting off work and I got to pick her up.
All right.
All
right, Chad. So thank you for coming on. I'm going to pop on your Kickstarter, and thank you very much for doing the thing and being there. And I'll pop it up for the last time here. Guy's back his Kickstarter. He's got a little bit of time left, but come on, let's go ahead and push him up for a bit more.
Yeah.
So please do that.
If we get up to 50, everybody gets another sticker. 50 backers.
Oh, there you go, guys. You got to go show that fucking sticker, man.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right. Talk to you.
Have a good one, Chad.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. So how's it going, Philip? So how's your car? It's not dead yet, is it?
Nope, not dead. Not dead. It's funny because the guy I take it to for the oil change was all like, he's like, you need a new car. And I'm thinking, nah, I like this idea of not having a car payment.
Right.
Like my little baby girl might, creak, crack, and, hum-ding across the road, but.
Is this your piece of shit car?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. So that's your piece of shit car right there. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I got bored and I started watching this game called Scorn. It's like a body horror game, but it's actually not horror. It's more of like in the thing of Geiger or Giger. I don't know. He's Austrian, whatever, bougie German. But anyway, so Geiger, like it's sort of this whole thing where Geiger, it's basically along the lines. I think it's like, they say it's body horror. I don't know if it's really body horror. I think it's more of just like weird, grotesque. I mean, it doesn't really show too much horror, but it shows. I mean, maybe some people go like, well, it shows blood and like gnarly implantation. I guess maybe that doesn't bother me, and I'm kind of weird about that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm watching that, and I'm just trying to get back into the rhythm of drawing. I did some stuff of Meet Mr. F Word for Demon Bitch right here, and I was sketching that. And I don't know what you think of the sketches right there. I mean, they're just shitty. So right now they're shitty, but
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like how they talk to one of the things in here. And yeah, just finalizing Meet Mr. F where that's like garbage thrown to her from homeless people because they don't like her. So I think she fucked over homeless people, but there's that. So I'm saving this one. So yeah. But yeah, just been kind of like working on stuff and everything. So, but it's been a pretty active show. Like what we got 118, so about almost roughly close to 15 minutes left. Yeah. And then we're gonna go with that. And but yeah, that's not bad. I would say things are pretty good about that. So how's your day going? What you got planned?
Yeah, sorry I was a little late to the show today because I really needed to get the grown-up stuff out of the way. Like I was running around like I was almost late to my own show. With Glenn, like fuck. Running around like crazy this morning.
Yeah. No, I get you because like I've been I felt kind of beat up, like I was talking about earlier, how I fell down the stairs. Again, it wasn't like this big fatal fucking thing, guys. Don't worry about it. I just felt like shit. That's all. Because it's kind of like after the fact,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean things are pretty good right now. I mean, I probably should as I said, I should probably go out and do something, but I already went out and had a waffle, so I think I feel pretty good about myself right now.
Yeah, and I had the world's blandest burger that looked great on the picture menu, but
that's what kind of sucks about those things, right?
Yeah, and you can't really say, it's false advertisement because that, but I don't know. I personally, I was just like, when I bit into it, I was like, really? Like the bread was soggy, the jalapenos weren't as crisp as I thought they would be, and I was just like, boo, what a letdown.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
It's all
it's
right.
like, I hope you're okay, C. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. It's just I got banged up. It's just more annoying. It's like, I mean, I talk about it, and I feel weird talking about it because I don't like talking about like something I didn't get seriously injured, but it just sucked. It's like I just
Yeah.
fell down the stairs, and it was like a really short flight of stairs, but it just sucked ass.
Right. Well, I mean, all in all, I'm glad you're okay though, because
Yeah.
that can really hurt. I don't care who you are. Falling downstairs sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, ow. Like, as I said, it was weird because like both of my socks like slipped out from under me. I'm like, oh shit. And as I said, I got two things where I'm actually lighter than I used to be, so that's good. But
Yeah.
with the other stuff, it's like it was insane. I just didn't know what the fuck that was about. So yeah, I just got bored and I'm like watching Scorn. If you ever watch that game, it's a fucking weird biomechanical game. It's like it's like you have to put people and things and all this other crap. So it's very odd. It's like this like weird stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down for it, man. I'll check it out. There's this one game next time we hang out that I want to do with you. It's through your phones, and it's like we all go to the same website. We sign up for it, and you play it on your TV, and it's freaking awesome. It's got multiple games for multiple things, and so like there's this one where it's a trivia game, and basically what it is you are held in a dungeon with a psychotic murderer, and you're trying to escape. And the way you escape is by answering trivia questions. And if you get them wrong, like he'll sever a toe or he'll on your character or whatever, and it's quite funny. It's like you have to have a dark sense of humor to enjoy the game, but I gotta remember what it's called though. Dang. But yes.
Yeah.
But so all in all, how is everything else going for you today?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I'm just like kind of like, just working on stuff. I've got to go and have a commission that I'm talking about in talks with, so that's pretty good. So there's that. But yeah, no, just drawing stuff. Just kind of like going. I'm just watching Scorn and just kind of like getting more back in the art thing because I was kind of out of the art thing for a while. I just felt sloggy for the past 2 weeks. It was very strange.
I could see that. Like, sometimes you just when it comes to that stuff, it can, for lack of a better word, like I know what it's like to be uninspired and not wanting to draw. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I
Right.
get it. I get it. So. So what inspired this piece today?
Well, I kind of like think about like it's sort of like about Scorn, but I'm just trying to get the right expression. And it's like sort of like that whole liquid darkness thing that I want to kind of get into. So it's kind of like
fantastic.
Kind of like sort of like kind of like is this amorphous sort of water or things, So I just want to go and get that going. It's going to be very black and white. I might post this up tomorrow if I'm finished with it. Yeah. It's funny because one of my friends said, like,
what'd they say?
It's weird because it's sort of like, I think I've kind of accepted the fact that my type of work is sort of like body horror kind of thing, but it's not really body horror. It's like, because I wasn't sure like where it fit because like I looked at like the other animation styles or pictures like Peach Momoko, and I'm not trying to compare myself to her in that way, but it's like I kind of wonder to myself like, am I kind of this way or that way? I don't seem to fit. Am I just going to be scratchy? Am I going to be this? What is it? And it was like, no, it's probably like this.
Yeah. It's
So it's like, I guess it's its own.
Yeah. Finding your own art voice is important, obviously. You know, unfortunately for me, like you're welcome. You unfortunately for me, like my art style, I can't land a comic book gig with my art style to save my life. But I'll get gigs to do portraits and layouts, you know, and I don't mind it because it helps pay the bills when money gets tight. But at the same time, my heart is like, man, I really want to be in someone's comic book someday, you know. So I can feel, I understand like sometimes in this business as an artist, it's you get discouraged, you know, like because like I'll be honest, you know, doing portraits for models and magazines doesn't pay as much as people think it does. You know, it's like, you know, a few hundred here, 100 there, $50 here, you know. So you just, but it's money. So
Right.
I'll take it all day long. Like I need to eat, and my family needs to eat. Like
right.
So
I just want people to say, okay, your artwork's awesome. Just go do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
well,
yeah. So it's like this weird tension thing going on today about stuff like that. I think it should be okay. Like I'm trying to get stuff on the road and outgoing, but it's been kind of like a little bit tense on top or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do. I think I don't know, like I think in this business it can be a little bit whatchamacallit, we can have a lot of hate with it because it's, you know, you want to be a great creative and do these things, but then you get pigeonholed too sometimes very easily into things that you don't really care for, you know. So yeah, I
Right.
definitely get that.
And there's other things that I'll talk to you outside of this that we'll talk about. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel right now about a lot of stuff, you know. It's kind of weird to me, but yeah, maybe I'll talk to you later about it after we get off this thing. But yeah, it's just interesting in a lot of ways. But yeah, no, I mean, it's good. I mean, yeah, so I'm just doing this and then I'm going to go add more things to it. So, you know, it's funny in art school, they just said, oh, never do black and white, never do all of black and never do all of white. And I tend to like say, no, fuck you. And I do it anyway.
You know what's funny is I never went to art school. I just to teach myself art, I used to like trace a lot of Ed Hardy stuff and just learn. And then I would trace the shit out of like Jack Kirby. That's why like when people see my stuff, like, you know, like when they look at my model sheets, they're like, wow, you draw people really well. I was like, yeah, if I have a static picture, I've trained my hand to basically look at the picture and draw it. But if you're asking me to do a comic book, it's a little harder because now I have to come up with the image in my mind. So I always have to look for references. Because you know, and I use all the light theory that, you know, Jack Kirby would use back in the day. That's why when people look at my artwork, they look at it like, it looks like it was light theory that was popular in the 50s. And I'm like, well, that's what Jack Kirby did. Like, I'm not going to hide it, you know?
Yeah, right.
So
I'm kind of weird about that. You know, it's like I just kind of go with what works for me, you know? Like right now, it's like I kind of want to go with this type of style where, you know, it's sort of like not quite. I don't know what my style is sometimes to label it because it seems like uniquely my own. And I know that might sound hoity-toity and weird of me to say, but that's really what it is.
Well, I love the fact that with your style, like you are your own maker, right? Like I can see you out of everyone at the art show, right? Like, because one thing that I enjoy about your art is you are you, and you're not trying to be the next fucking Marvel like almost every fucking person's trying to do at these art shows. It's like, no, this is my art style. This is who I am. And you're more of an artist than a lot of those people trying to get into the corporate game. It's like, and that's something I can highly respect on so many levels. Like to have the strength and the courage and the gumption to go, you know what? Say, screw it. I'm going to be me. I'm going to sell my kind of artwork. Like, that's what comic books are supposed to be. You're not supposed to conform to what other people want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sad thing, but it seems like that's what most of these young artists do. They're going to these art shows and these conventions thinking, I should be just like Marvel and DC. Is like, no, man, find your voice.
I think it's also like they want to be liked and accepted, and that's understandable. We were all like that when we were younger, too.
Yeah, good point. I mean, loved and accepted and have, be revered at certain stages, we're as
I mean, I don't think you're calling that. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I gotta take the water cooler out sometime today. Whew.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I made a comment as a joke. I said, the whole Paul Pelosi thing, it kind of reminds me of the stories that I'm hearing. It kind of reminds me of Borat, when he did totally non-gay wrestling with his business partner or his manager.
Yeah.
So that's what it reminds me of. I wonder if I'll get shit for that. Probably.
I don't know. I mean, you do you, man. Like, who cares? Most of the world these days are just uptight people that want to complain. I always found it interesting that, there was this one comedian. The girl was laughing so hard that she passed out. And the comedian was like, stops the show, makes sure she's okay, then starts joking, right? Like, as he stops the show, he's asking, anyone know, like a doctor, EMT, anything? And no one answered. And then, all of a sudden, the show goes on, and he cracks a joke about it. And the one goes, that's not funny. Another woman in the audience goes, that's not funny. I'm an EMT. And he looks at me and goes, well, where the fuck were you? Instead of complaining about my joke, how come you didn't try to save that woman's life? And that's
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Be who you're gonna be. Say what you're gonna say. Be genuine. Be real. Be honest.
Well, there you go. Here's the painting.
Ooh. Dude, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, right. It's 1:33. So I say, guys, thank you for being there. And I did this work. That's awesome. So you guys, you have a great day. And I will talk to you later. So thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Go and check on my stuff at Global Comics. Pass it around. You can buy stuff from there, online stuff, if you need more of my books and artwork. And also, you are welcome to go and go online to my link tree and look at all the things. So, you guys take care. I'm going to be at Militia City on 11/19. So you take care and you have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.